Hello and welcome back to Love and Hope Can LLC. I have with me today my father. Dad, you want to say hi to everyone?
Yes, I would love to say hello, everyone.
Hey, we're just hanging out and sitting in the car right now. It's a beautiful day. It's about 74 degrees, right, Daddy? About 74 degrees. We just came from the park and, well, yeah, and just sitting down and we were just talking. And it's so funny that we were just talking about some of the, working through some of the toughest things that you have to deal with in life, and not everybody do it the same way, but more so on the encouraging level is where I'm coming from today. Because just as I speak this and put this on YouTube and Facebook, I am speaking simply because I too am going through whatever I have to go through, and not every day is an easy day. And so I have to push myself. Some days I'm just down and actually don't achieve anything because I allow what the sort of giving up for that moment take precedence instead of just pushing through. So I'm saying today, now I've made some strides in what I'm trying to, accomplish, but at the same time, and I use the word try and the things that I'm accomplishing, but we do have those little funky days, those days that we don't quite want to get out the bed, or we are just, just feeling ourselves to where we just want to lay around. And so that's okay. What the thing is just don't what? Get stuck, Daddy. Don't get stuck in. You want to keep moving. You want to keep um getting up to do it again the next day or later on that day. Daddy, you have any things that you work through in life? Maybe something real big that when you were younger and you thought that it was maybe this surmountable thing that you couldn't accomplish, but you pushed through. I know you had lost a lot of weight. You were about 300 and something pounds, and you was told that you were diabetic and you had lost weight.
Yeah, well, personal areas like that, yes, uh, that comes, almost automatically with individuals. But when you're going into, say, a area of life that you're going to be responsible for either uh, somebody else or you have a family type of thing like that, then it plays a little bit different uh, as far as what an individual would do and what his what he it would be things that you would normally do if you
So, in
have a
terms of
family.
you losing that weight back then, you were 300 and something pounds, and you were told that you were a diabetic. What did you do? What did you do? What did you have to do? And on the days that you didn't want to do it, because I know you had mentioned before about getting up running, you had to change your diet, and it was just something that was life changing for you. You
Life,
know,
well, when you say life changing, yes, because if it's a shock to the to, to 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 the brain that you hey you're about ready to wipe yourself out, that's that's something that you will take very very serious
but what kept
notice
you
to.
motivated to lose weight?
Losing weight keep
That's
you
what
keep you motive.
oh, that makes sense. Okay, so okay, so what kept you motivated was knowing that you had to lose the weight, and
Hmm.
so that was always in the forefront of your mind.
Well, not always in the forefront. I'm sure yeah, one has a lot more uh, ambitious, things that he has accumulated in his mind to do. I mean, he's just not just going to go, I'm going to lose weight. At least I haven't been that well. I mean, that stuck up on something like that uh, at all.
Okay, so I know that those are some of the maybe just one example of how to continue going. My daddy's 85; he's getting ready to be 86 years old, and so I remember in the 70s, he had mentioned that to me that, he was about 300 and something pounds, and blood pressure and all those things that can actually, at some point, eventually end your life, right? Earlier than maybe expected. So I remember just as a little girl, a lot of times my dad would run to a place called Belle Isle, or down over by the what's the bridge to Canada? Ambassador Bridge. And a lot of times, with mom, we had to, drive down there because he was exhausted in some ways, and we would go and pick him up. And but the thing is that he kept doing it. He kept doing it. He didn't quit. And so eventually, he had lost some of the weight that he was supposed to lose. And of course, over time and over years, you gain back. But I've never known my dad as being 300 pounds, maybe a good 230, a good 270 or something. But I just, when he told me the story, it stuck with me because, I also, am looking to lose weight and things like that. And just seeing what he had gone through. And I'm sure it wasn't easy because being raised in a family that ate 3 meals a day, um, and snacks, and just having to have that camaraderie with your family all the time. That's the era that he had grew up. And we always just met around food. And that was the thing. And it was, it brought joy. It brought us, just the feel of that whole feel of being comforted by just your family, and all the just that comes with that. So that was a thing for him. For me, it's continuously a thing, because now, you deal with the pains, you deal with actually going through and being consistent with. And I'm sure that's something that he had to deal with back then. And just being continuously to motivate yourself, you know um not waiting for someone else to push you. Yeah, I heard something on one
Well,
time. It
that
was
can be
either,
a motivation.
what can be a motivation?
Other people. That's
Other
the
people,
only
yeah, sure.
that.
But just to solely hone in on a person or people to get you motivated for something you have to do, that's not something
No,
that,
that's a really a mental thing with
yeah,
you.
it's a mental thing.
Yeah, that you want to do something and you're determined that you ain't gonna let nothing.
Yeah. And so, with that being said, we have to be able to continue on and to continue to move. I was going to say, I saw something before on, I think it was either Instagram or Facebook, and they had mentioned no one is coming to help. No one is coming to save you, that you have to do it. You yourself have to, be your motivator, be your pusher, be the person that's going to get you to the next level of where you need to succeed. Because working through the toughest parts is going to be really for you to be able to do it. Now, the bonus is, if you have a person or two, or maybe even a crowd of people that can help push you, that's the extra, what would you call it,
Well,
blessing, or the extra
anytime you can get something like that, that's going to be an additional motivation,
yeah,
and that it makes things just a little bit easier.
yes. And so, even still, and that's just, through whatever, even if you're having a hard time paying your rent, your mortgage,
Oh man, that's something
your
different.
car notes. Not it's sort of different, but also it's part of the toughest things that you have to go through, to know that at any moment that you can be evicted or out of a home or put out of a home, and you're struggling with finances. You still have to kind of keep up. You have to motivate yourself to, hey, let me find another resource here, or go and ask someone, or a couple of people to help you get through for that
Mm-hmm.
month. And then be able to say, hey, this is something I have to change in my life to be able to meet next month's payments or something. But don't be defeated. Don't be deflated, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to work through. And these are, when I say the toughest places, this is a tough place. Even if you're short on food, there are food banks. I don't care if you've gone through the food bank once for that month or whatever they say, once every 90 days. Write the letter to the CEO or the board president and say, hey, I was here on this such and such a date. I have 2 kids, 3 kids, and I am struggling. Go down to the social service office and plead your case. But also, what comes with that, I know they don't give you much, but whatever you get, you got to understand that maybe you cannot do a steak, or maybe you can't do high priced foods or shrimps or things like that. I remember helping a mother, and she would take, and because she loved seafood, she would take the food stamps. I said, but what about your children? And one had an allergy. I said, well, that's not fair. I
Mm-hmm.
said, buy, meats that's going to be for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy the high expensive stuff, because then you run short towards the end of the month. And so I had to, we ended up doing a budget, and I showed her the difference. And it's not that I'm not saying that you can't have your shrimp or anything like that. I'm saying maybe you do it instead of 3 and 4 times a month. Maybe you just do it once. Maybe that's the big treat. Or find the food that the child is the one that's allergic to, that everybody likes, but I'm saying not the one that's allergic, but
Mm-hmm.
find something that everyone likes in the household and make that the main thing at least once or twice a month. There's always a way to cut corners, but when it comes to food, when it comes to you eating and shelter and being clean, I understand that you have to do what you have to do, but at the same time, I want you not to find out what is the continuous issue and try to solve it. You have to work through it. Everything is not a given, and I say that because everything is not a given. I can't tell you if you can't, do your car note and you had in your car and everything because you're afraid of the repo people. Hey, call the company. Don't be afraid. Say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. And if it was because of COVID and you couldn't recuperate and you couldn't do the things that you needed to do to get above that, hey, call the people, talk to the people. Say, listen, I'm struggling. Can you guys give me another 90 days to at least come up with half, to negotiate with people, because right now not too many people buying cars. And so if you give the car back, what's going to happen? Know how to negotiate. Get somebody on your side if you don't quite know how to talk it out or to communicate with the folks and you get frustrated. Find someone that's not and just say, I give this person permission to speak on my behalf. Is that okay? So again, working through the toughest places in life. It's not easy. It's not easy losing a child.
Not at all.
Not at all. You know, I'm on the eve of my nephew's son who died exactly a month ago tomorrow,
Mm.
you know, and it's not easy.
No way.
And I realize this, and I know it's a struggle for his mom. It's a struggle for my niece and nephew and her husband, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle for me. My eyes have literally turned black under the bottom with the tears. It's a thing. It's and that weighs you down too. And it's so many things that look like it piles up on you when you're trying to accomplish one thing, and then all of a sudden life hits you again with some other stuff, some other mess that comes out the way. But I'm here to tell you to be encouraged, right, Daddy?
Certainly.
Certainly, because nothing easy is going to come easy. And I say that, you know, and sometimes we want it easy. It's a blessing if we get it easy, but at the same time, I don't want you to give up. I want you to work it through, and even at the times that you're tired, or something comes to you either in a dream or something comes to you by way of a word or a video. If you're on social media, on something encourages you or inspire you, take that. If something say,
Exactly.
hey, you know what? I was thinking of writing that one thing down and just putting it out into the universe for prayer, for whatever it is, and ask people to join with you. Don't ask a hater, because that's what a hater does, right, Daddy?
Yeah, it's true.
What does a hater do, Daddy?
Hater hates,
Oh,
and he hate to see anything better than that.
that's right. Okay, Daddy. Yeah, right. You got it. And so you don't want that. You don't want the negativity.
Put down, yeah, but
You want the positive stuff.
this well, can, if you can really get yourself suited in those particular mind,
You got to speak up, Daddy.
when you get into an area where you can talk to to your inner self and know exactly how you want to do it,
Yeah.
and be able to work with it as though you were working with a third or fourth person.
Yeah.
You can do it. Well, you show I can do it. You don't say no. I don't know. You leave
Yeah.
that I don't know down alone.
I don't know. Oh, is that the woe is me?
That's what it's
The
me.
woe is me. Oh,
Yeah, leave that alone.
him and the horn around. But I'm saying your life is important. Your happiness is important.
And then you can spread your that type of thoughts uh, to your fellow man also.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be alone in all the in your thoughts and everything. Talk with somebody else, about this. Like you want to do this, or you want to do that, or you feel this way, and you can talk to somebody else, and they can also can come along with you, and they can say, "Oh yes."
So like a partner, like a accountability partner,
exactly. You
or
can
someone.
share it actually,
Yeah.
and then it makes it a little bit easier. But
Mm.
don't try to hold too much into yourself, because you're only a small person.
You mean like you're the only, like you're the person that's going through it, and when you
Mhm.
say that, what do you mean?
Well, like say for instance, you say, that's too tight. I ain't gonna even try it. And if you don't try to do anything, or give it a chance, you'll never know if you can do it or not. And then you'll get weaker and weaker and weaker. But you want to get stronger and stronger and stronger
That's
by
right.
being strong. Oh, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing gonna stop me from doing it.
That's right.
You got to be tough.
Gotta be tough.
Be tough.
And so for the person that's not as tough, take the words of an 85-year-old man that has lived life and continuously wanting to live life, and said we're going to travel and take a cruise, something he's always wanted to do. And I'm glad to have, was upset that, COVID happened, and yeah, kind of taken away that at that moment. And now that they lifted this ban on the mask and things like that, I'm still concerned because of age and because of, things that you are dealing with. But I'm saying to you, and just like my dad said, don't give up. Just keep going. Just keep pushing.
Yep, keep going.
You
Well,
know,
you may hit every bell on time, but you just keep going.
just keep pushing.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that? The little engine that could, that just coming along. The little engine that could. If you don't know the story of the little engine that could, it just kept going, just kept going.
Keep on.
Just keep on pushing, working through the toughest parts of life.
Yeah, and you got to have enough sense to know what's what. I mean, what's enough of a certain what. Say, for instance, you get up there and then you're gonna blow your brains out later on if you don't do it. No, you don't.
No, we're not blowing up, and we're gonna keep on
what I'm
moving.
saying. Yeah, some people get to the point that you can.
Yeah, but that's not what we want to. I understand what you're saying, and they don't get to that point to where you want to do it, and that's why we're talking about it today, is to work through the toughest parts, even when you feel like you want to do that. That's not an option. You take that off the table, clear off the table. And I say, get, help or professional help. But even I've talked to the person that's going through domestic violence. I talked to a person that's in a real bad situation with life right now. And it feels like you do have no place out. You do have a place out. You have a place to get out of there. You just got to believe and know. And if you have to signal other people, you have to get the help, and the help doesn't come always with just a bright light shining. Sometimes it's that friend. Sometimes you got to slip a note or do something. If you don't have a text, a text a phone to text on because that person is taking it from you. You have to find something to carve something some way. Even if you're using the word help, you know, 911,
Or
simple
just a
things.
next door neighbor that you just been going by a long time by,
Ask
and
them to
then
help.
hey, just hi, how you doing? What's
Yes.
going on? And
Yes.
find out what his situation is, and then you'll be surprised at how you will be similar.
Yeah, in some cases.
Hmm.
But I say, working through the toughest places are not always easy. And I
No,
always say it's easier said than what, Daddy?
done.
Done. Right. It's easier said than done. And so, but I'm here to encourage you. We are here to encourage you today to be able to just keep your head lifted up. And when you're reaching out and you just keep reaching and you right at that point to where you're getting ready to grab hold of it, don't give up. Keep
That's right.
reaching
That's right.
because the work in itself, and I'm talking to myself, I actually got chills right now. I was talking to my husband earlier, and it was maybe about 4:30 this morning, and I was just telling him, I said, I'm sort of like this or whatever. He's like, mm-mm. He said, don't be defeated, just keep going, just keep going. So again, we do need those cheerleaders, and I come here, I speak out of my trueness. I speak out of what I am being challenged with or
Out of
I'm
your
being
heart,
faced out.
yeah,
Yeah, out of my heart. I take the
and your experience.
and experience. And my thing is, I know that I want, as I get older, I want to be able to enjoy life. And that means traveling even more, traveling across the international borders and being able to do things that I've always dreamt of doing,
Hmm.
and being able to have a free mind in doing so. And so, with that being said, for those of you that are within the reach of my voice, I say keep your head held high. I don't want to infringe on anybody's spiritual beliefs, but as for me, I can speak that the God that I serve has not failed. And as long as we have breath and we keep going and our minds are steady and doing the things we have to do it. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety, I always say, please seek out professional help because that's not easy. And especially asking for help for a lot of people,
Mm.
it's not an easy thing to do.
No, no.
But again, part of that is navigating and working through the toughest parts that life has to offer us. If you're dealing with eating disorders, I don't care whether you're eating to get bigger or you're eating to lose weight, you drink more water, keep yourselves hydrated, being able to just go out into what God has provided for us, which is nature. You can get a whole lot of energy just going through nature and just loving what God has already put here. Eat more fruits. If you have allergies and you're dealing real bad with allergies, go see a hypo, what is it called? A allergy doctor that deals specifically with that. You have to be able to kind of navigate things and work through things in the toughest places and getting yourself unstuck. Okay.
Yep.
I hope what we said today resonates a little bit. Again, you can always go to my comments and leave a comment. If you like this video, please be able to put the thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to all. So when I upload, you will actually be one of the first to get the video. All right. As always, thank you. And if you want to,
Amazing.
share, you can share. That would be perfect. Okay. Peace and blessings always. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
But I said